So, I don't really know what to talk about. I decided to change the tuning for voice communications. Hopefully that helps out with the background. Because I'm in the shower, of course. I deleted the other one. I was recording only for about a minute. I don't really know. Sometimes it's my anxiety, sometimes it's my stress, sometimes it's something else. You know, like possible that's there, that anything I'm, you know, going through is ultimately helping that be a problem. You know, there's always a possibility of something, or it could be an amalgamation of all of them coming together to just, because like, for what it's worth, for me, especially, it's like, oh, I mean, it's pretty easy to sort of like utilize some of that and then amplify that issue of like the ADHD, anxiety, PTSD, you know, stuff like that, that then can sometimes reduce, you know, memory or working, you know, thought memory, stuff like that. Right? And then like amplify that reduction during the moment. And then people just go like, oh, you know, it's just a thing, you know. It's just your anxiety. It's just like you gotta keep it going, and eventually, you know, it'll get better or something. Because like that's an easy, like fast thing to say, and it, you know, for what it's worth, it works for like the vast majority of people. You know, and it's like right, except for when something like that's around. You know. Whatever that empty brain, linky brain, you know, it's not even actually there. It's this empty in-between bullshit happening that likes to prey upon people by like forcing them to have certain, you know, as they grow up, belief systems, thought processes, abuses, and normalization of certain, you know, ways of acting towards each other. And I wanted to kind of like highlight why that can be so easily misunderstood when you grew up with it and it's so prevalent in our everyday life that you wouldn't really think about it as being something that is like that. You know what I mean? Like you really don't. Like, and you might not understand that that's a thing. Because it's like, right, but you don't ask most of the time if somebody has a boundary about this. You just sort of go about your daily business and there's no written rules, and there's no real, we're going to talk and use this example, we're going to do this together as a family or in school or something, about how like, you can maybe approach somebody and figure out how to like have a discussion, you know, and maybe bring up some of these, you know, boundaries from the start, so that way you don't cross certain things you didn't know might be there. And respect that. And if you do, it's like, oh, great, yay. You're a very minority individual. You know what I mean? Like, you get kind of looked at weird. Like, why would you ask that? You know, and it's like, are you autistic? It's like, no, motherfucker, that's just like a normal thing to do and be like. Like, that's normal as fuck. If you don't know, now you know. Like, for real. Yeah, the toothbrushing thing. Yeah. It is. It's a normal thing. And you don't even think about, like, how often we play these favoritism games. I mean, it's just this one little type of thing. You know, you don't think it's a big deal. And it's like, right, I have a favoritism for my entire state for these secured earmarks for my water. Right? You know, for infrastructure building and shit. And you're like, why aren't we fighting for like everybody to get proper amounts of money so that way you can fix all of the water infrastructure? Why are you playing favoritism as a distraction to seem cool and big for your state? Why don't we like invest some of the money that we're spending? Okay, like shh, calm your voice down in your head. already. Calm it down. You gotta calm it down. Alright? I'm ready to do something. Calm it down. We're gonna take the military here. Yeah, good old military, alright? We're gonna take this guy, this whole branch of our stuff. And we're gonna be like, this is an exercise. Like, let's say there's a national disaster emergency, or there's some fucking war game possibility. We gotta retrofit and upgrade and upscale all of our water infrastructure. How good are our Army Corps of Engineers? How good of all of the fucking branches of the United States military? As we've got all these wars we're fighting, all of them. We've got so many of them around the world, so many. Can't bear to spare a few. Over the course of the next few fucking years, maybe a term of the presidency, you know, I don't know, some shit, right? And use some of that motherfucking know-how that they've got, some of the money they've got. They're not, like, incredibly talented, educated, having tools and like, large amounts of cooperation, and they can no way, shape, or form work with other contractors or anything else at all. No possibility of it. Certainly never been done or seen before ever. It's not occurred. No fucking way. Oh wait, yes it has. Sarcasm. Lying in a tonality that showcases I am lying for jest. Alright, so it's like, alright. Why don't we play some favoritism for the military? Give it up for the nationalistic pride here. Ooh yeah! We are cool people who love our country and the military. Alright? We want to see them be as successful as possible. This is one big educational moment for all the people in it. To fix all of our water problems. Just upgrade the shit out of it. No more lead pipes or problematic Flint, Michigans and more. We're gonna get her done. We're not gonna do any of that. No. Hey guys, I got you the most money for our state. Cool. Sure. I care tremendously. Oh my god. What about all these other problems with homelessness and fucking not enough money for all the fucking work I do? Fucking go buy bottled water. No, you can't buy bottled water because, like, honestly speaking, you're only going to help the whole fucking problem get worse. You know that. It's like, this is a complex issue. Yeah, it'd be a lot less complex if we just used the military and got on it. You know what I mean? It seems like they know a thing or two. So I was wondering, you know, why we don't do that. Hey, look, we got the varied, ginormous differences of the environment around us of every state, county. No damn way would we fucking need that to understand how to help our troops be able to survive in any and all combat situations. No way, sir. Rebabo. Can't do that. Nope, can't be doing that. Can't be fucking helping them understand how to better fight and survive. Have better resources. Certainly wouldn't want any of that technology for them to make it so that way even scarce resources are managed and used very well and effectively with large amounts of efficiencies to help them continue fighting. No, we couldn't possibly want that for our troops. Not a thing. We don't like that. Nope, definitely don't. But then I thought about it more. I'm like, let's look at all these
these favoritisms that exist in other walks of life. And he's like, oh, there's going to be some fucking words that are going to fucking trigger you, so hold on. Look at this. This person's in our insert whatever it is community and tribe here. Jews, black, white, fucking Christian, woman, man. I don't give a fuck. They like this piece of fucking jewelry versus that one. They prefer this type of coffee versus that. That's what that is, right? You know, they're just doing that thing. That they're allowed to do that, you know what I mean? But I like that one more than this one. Next thing you know, there's this other dude totally not related to us in our community. Decided to try their hand at making something happen. No. This award is going to go to this person that's a part of our community. This thing that they did is far more impressive and important than this other motherfucker that changed all these things for us and did amazing shit. No Nobel's ever been like that. No, in any possible way, shape, or form, awards for any movies or TV shows or music or television. What the fuck, man? Authors, holy shit. I was looking at this fucking thing. The host is Simon Whistler. He had a short story about a time traveler completely ripped off by this other motherfucker. He got big by this person that ripped it off. But they get all the praise and shit. Nobody talks about the fact that that's happening tremendously all these different places. Ghostwriters, fucking, I'm just gonna steal the same thing. J.K. Rowling, anyone? She got $1 billion fucking dollars, man. She ripped it off, motherfucker. They seem to reward it, almost, feels like, you know what I mean? Like, you're gonna sink into the depths of depravity. You're gonna be a fucking thief. You're gonna be like us. We're gonna reward the shit out of you for doing that. But seems like they get propped up, you look deeper into their past and history. Oh, whoa, holy shit, whoa. That soul they sold long ago, right? Nobody thinks about it. Oh, wait, no. No, they did. And inevitably that short-term gain turned into a long-term destruction. But they still got the money, and they still got friends, and they still got all the rest of it that's going on with them. Nothing really changed. They certainly didn't have to fucking deal with anything, like a thing. They got more than enough money to deal with, like, a lot now. And it's like, why wouldn't I do it? Why wouldn't I fucking? And I was thinking about it, because I came up with, like, a little scenario, a little hypothetical. I was like, right. So it's like, it reminds me of the bully in, like, elementary school or some other fucking school. And it's like, oh, my kid decided to stand up to the bully. And then, like, you get your thumbs up. Yeah, no way are you supposed to do that, looking at your kid, just fucking eyeing him. It's like, you shouldn't do that, Good, that's amazing, keep that up. Oh, yeah, I know, it's so bad and terrible. Yeah, that's, whatever. Hey! I saw that you were praising them. Anybody else see that? I didn't see that. Pixar didn't happen. Video or didn't occur. I see what you're doing. And then it's like, oh, right, yeah, no. Hey. This motherfucker's beating their kid. Yeah, look at this. This motherfucker came out beating their fucking kid. Obviously, it's a cry for help. This kid trying to get out of this abusive situation that's clearly there going on. You know what I mean? You see what I'm saying? Like, man, do they need help to get out of this? It's like, I know, I'm going to just discuss all the things that are wrong and we're going to fucking, oh, God. thing gets big in the fucking news cycle, then just disappears. You ever notice that? There's a thing back in the day with Reddit about some politician or some shit, I forget what it was. It had practically the same thing, and it just whoop went away. Just disappeared. So like a whole bunch of posts and shit just started to happen, not show up anymore. You think that that would eventually like go somewhere? Oh, what do you know? There were cops involved? Some internal affairs investigation bullshit happened? You'd think this would be a huge story, right? It just disappeared. Like a whole bunch of billionaires possibly on their side, maybe. I mean, they were rich people. I remember that. They had connections to these rich motherfuckers. They said they didn't, but, you know. Then you look into their fucking Panama paper leak, and it's like, oh, yeah, no, they know. They definitely connected. Oh, yeah, no, for sure. They got basically off scot-free, nothing really happened. You know what happened to the person that fucking said, good job, child, for standing up? Yeah, they ended up having a massive series of issues, pretending, like as if it wasn't obvious that everything, the school, because, yeah, no, they helped fucking fund that thing. The other areas around them, they ended up moving. Nasty rumors spread. No fucking goddamn evidence whatsoever. More than enough evidence to put this motherfucker away. Didn't even bother to fucking hide it too. They literally stated, it came out later, that that's exactly what they were doing. But it was all on the up and up legal. They couldn't even do anything to afford a defamation. They tried going for a defamation later. Last I heard, or saw, was that they settled out of court. For very little money. I mean, apparently they're gearing up to try and sue him for exposing the fact that they were abusive towards their child. Because you know what that little internal affairs thing was about? It leaked out that they were grooming their child and they were doing a little PR maneuver to fucking say that the child deserved to be beaten. And it went nowhere somehow. Reddit had a field day for a brief minute, and then other things came out that caught their attention, and hosts, no way, shape, and form would they ever just pay people or possibly just have people that want this to go away because they have some biases and clear favoritism going on. And it's like, no, they wouldn't be training us in an empty brain, this empty, like the grooming nature of how it is we grow up in our society to favoritize in certain other aspects, because it's not that big of a deal, I mean, it's every so often. It's really, oh wait, no, the scale here seems to be pretty substantial. Seems like they are willing to excuse and enable abusers. Even if they don't even have money. It's crazy how that seems to work out often. They think it doesn't, but it does. They think I'm a big old conspiratorial paranoid guy. Why? Why would that be the case? We see it time and time again. We've had so many different versions of this occur. I'm only 31. People older than my ass have seen it happen many more times than I have. No way is it a thing, huh? Gaslighting. You have to pull up some records for us somehow. I can't possibly come up with in any way, shape, or form that this ever occurred. Meanwhile, other people, I remember this one, that one, this one, this one, that one, that one, this one, this. I don't know. No way do I. I'll fuck off. Okay? Stop posting things. They're supposed to do these things. They're supposed to convince you. Yeah, he's trying to influence and manipulate and groom us into thinking like him. Oh, yeah, no, I couldn't possibly be just trying to help you. Maybe look into some things yourself so I don't have any influence in what you think and say and so on. But you find it, it's like, oh, look at these articles. This one doesn't say he was that bad to do this. This one reams out his asshole. It's almost like they play all the signs there so that way people believe that there isn't a goal in mind and they would never post certain things or, start removing people from posting stuff or try and prevent others from doing this. Distract them and, curtail. Certainly never seen people pay money to Google to have certain things removed off their search engine. And they would never censor other information or data. No, they're very unevil. Have no bias or incentive for money. Same thing with the YouTubes, the Twitters, and all the rest. They would never not do that. We've seen it never-endingly. Actually, yes. No, we know about it. And you trust them, huh? How hard is it for them to form up a clique and seem cool that they're in this community? And it's an us versus them mentality. Favoritism is not really happening. It's not even just, and we're not elites, when you really think about it. And we'll get up there ourselves somehow one day. Because it's only rich people, that's the only way that this works. It's the only way. It can only be elite people with money. There's no way, shape, or form other people would do something so fucking heinous. Poor people would never be desperate enough to believe in bullshit. Bernie Madoff didn't get away with doing shit like stealing poor people's money and ultimately it never getting to them, but the rich people sure got paid, right? We still like Martha Stewart for some reason. Man, that Snoop Dogg campaign, am I right? Sure helped that community out, right? She's a cool person. Yeah, no, I'm sure. But to the people that get embezzled, the good hard-working motherfuckers, yeah, I'm sure. Sure, right. Sure. I keep thinking about this because it's the same thing when it comes down to certain communities about sexuality and about where we should head towards like how we should police ourselves and moderate and set up policies and laws. I'm like, why is it we don't just set up a law stating that you're not allowed to do certain things without the very community that this majority-wise affects being involved in the decision-making? You ever think about that? Hey, you over there. Yeah, you gay? Yeah. Hey, you want to be a fucking person that discusses about what we should do law-wise on this fucking shit that might affect you tremendously for fucking decades until you die? Probably. Yeah, I would really like that. That would be nice. Yeah. I should probably have that. Yeah, where is this? Yeah, how come we don't have anything about that? Huh? How come we only have certain people? How is that fair? They're not involved. Yes, but they're going to be affected. Their rights are going to be... Yes, but what about their rights? I thought you said they were valid. They're not as valid as ours, or we are way bigger. Okay? You're bigger, yes, but they still get affected by you just as much. So why is it that that's not allowed? Because we're bigger. Oh, you're bigger. Okay. All right. So, but not here. You're not bigger there. No. Well, so obviously they should have more say than you. I don't like that! I should be the only one! We should be! This is wrong! Our rights are being infringed upon! I see. Now what happens when it turns into something different? A little less kosher, a little less nice to that group that's in the minority. I don't want to acknowledge these other people that like these things that I don't. There's no such thing as transsexuals. No such thing as people that don't have certain fiscal, meaning financial requirements. Nobody believes that, certainly, right? There's no such thing as attractiveness of the physical variety being a requirement for certain people in a relationship. Certainly no age. We can't have the 50-year-old with the 24-year-old. Sex! Sex is involved. It's disgusting, predatory. They can't possibly like that. They can't possibly both know what's going on, huh? We should look at them and condemn their very relationship. Huh. Seems like you should butt the fuck out, but maybe I'm just, weird. You ever notice that shit? And then what stops us from teaching others to be more aware of themselves? Be able to handle that kind of a thing. Just be a person that understands, hey, you know, I do know about my shit, and I'd rather that you not be awkward and help me with good sound advice, validating my emotions and feelings about how I want to progress forward, and, you know, kind of like what you do with your husband or wife, you know, about how it is that you might sometimes need advice as the adult, and how you proceed forward. I don't know a damn fucking thing what I'm doing sometimes. Sometimes I don't know anything. It just works out. I don't know. That doesn't seem good. Wait, what? Is that true? You don't know anything? Wait. Yeah, I'm not here. I don't want to be here. I don't want to admit that any of this might be a thing. That'd be dangerous. I would be seen as a person that might not be allowed to have the conversation. It's like, why? Why would you not be allowed to have the conversation? Aren't you valid? No, I know what they do with the favoritism. I know what those fuckers do. They remove your voice. They remove your validation. They remove you. Ooh, so you've been trained. You've been trained, into fucking being afraid. Societal peer pressure at this point. To no longer allow for that. So that way you still have some kind of idea of a bare minimum of validation and say towards something. Then they make it so that way you don't see as many sides of the fence going on there, huh? So that way you might come to an agreement with the people that it generally affects, like I just said. You'd have to validate those people, like what you want, but of course, no, that's scary, we can't. That would be bad. Because that would mean that all my life, that thing, would have been done for me. I would have been a similar person. I would have gotten that treatment. Right? Wouldn't it have been that way? Is that it's not incorrect to state anymore, is it? I mean, come on. Is it that hard to imagine that being the case? Is it so difficult to think that maybe you deserved to have more say in a voice? Kind of like unions do for the people they represent to big corporations, so that way they're able to maintain a degree of authority in what goes on with them? Is that why the SAG and so on seem to not really be getting as much? You know? There's all these other stories. I'm like, well, yeah, sure. Is it that important when you think about it? Is it? I don't know. I mean, that seems pretty mighty important. Why is it that we aren't a part of the conversation about us having time to make sure we vote and learn and understand the nuances of what it is we're voting for. I mean, it's so important what the hell it is that we do that with. I mean, look at you. I want water infrastructure that's so good. Okay, sure. Yeah, no, I know you do, but you didn't even know what was going on, most likely. Did you? Till it suddenly came out somewhere and you learned about it. Right? So, why is it that you're not, like, made sure to be aware of these things? Why are there earmarks? Why would you believe that that's acceptable for someone to get more for your state? Why would you find it acceptable that they don't even get a fraction of the total that they would really need to fix it all? And that we give that amount every year to our military. Why would you assume that your hatred of another person, dislike of another country, and so on, should in any way influence their rights? Because that's what you were stating. They're against me and my stuff. And it's like, right. Except no, it shouldn't affect you. It doesn't involve you. Why is it that you think that that's reasonable? It really doesn't. It won't. It means nothing. It will never mean anything. Ever. No matter how hard you try. It's not you in that relationship. It's not you that has to deal with anything about their life. Except for they might be near you when they're eating, or might be near you when they're sleeping in another apartment. Or perhaps get the same equal treatment. You wouldn't like that, would you? You wouldn't, huh? I see it consistently, over and over and over, against each other, everywhere, in so many different walks of life, with the justifications and rationalizations that come with it. The discredit nature immediately showing up. Don't allow for this to be a thing. Don't allow for the validation of these people. Don't allow for this conversation to be had. Don't allow. Why not? They're people. They're valid. Humans. I don't care how much you want to dehumanize them. It doesn't change that fact. People are not the product of immediate evil, is what we often go with. Some could be a little bit more inclined, but of course nurture is what it is. Let's be real, let's be honest. You were groomed into thinking like that, and justifying and rationalizing it. You were taught is what they'll go with. But we know what the answer is, really. Say your Pledge of Allegiance to the flag, even if you don't want to, and be hated if you don't. Be weird if you're into this and not that. Oh my God, I can't believe you like that. That's disgusting. Why not accept someone being different? Enjoying other things than what you like? What does it affect you? It doesn't. But people might like that thing, and there'll be less that might head towards my thing. So, you're worried about being not as big as you once were. That's all I heard. Have you ever thought about examining where those feelings might come from? You wouldn't want to feel the same things they are and do on a daily basis, right? You know how terrible that is, what they seem to go through. Seems like. Yeah, well, sure. Huh. Weird stuff. Come on. How many of you have already known about this? decide to put it out of your mind, and you don't even recognize the posts for what they are and what they're trying to do. The everyday abuse of invalidation and neglect of others, justification and rationalization to allow for certain things, for that favoritism. Their favoritism. I don't get favoritism. Obviously, I'm a discounted minority individual. As am I. Have certain rational, logical beliefs about society. Suddenly I'm schizophrenic. All because I'm smart enough to understand how to believe those things to be something that's possible. Certain personality traits couldn't possibly be as a result of other things going on, seeing this every dang day and more, causing grief and depression, PTSD, anxiety, triggers after trigger after trigger of my trauma. Living a life with my family like that. Now it must be something else. Instead of, no, it's just like this is always going on. Why can't that be the case? Because society can't be so bad. We refuse to acknowledge any problems with society. Or my family, or our town, or any fucking state, or any county, or anything going on in our country. We couldn't possibly have that issue. And all of these various fields of study and, walks of life and careers and corporations and so on and so on. You couldn't possibly figure out enough that it's so ubiquitous in its large of scale that means that you're never able to get out of it, and you're very obviously aware that it won't change, and people really don't see it until it's something that makes them question the very nature of continuing in what they are doing. That's terrifying. You're now a terrorist. You're evil. You're a cult. You're wrong and bad for even suggesting. Couldn't possibly be something like that going on to varying degrees throughout many, many walks of life that challenge and ultimately make them discomforted. The bad guys. Suddenly, there's someone that's not willing to play ball with their belief systems and allow them to continue abusing and get away with certain things that they previously, before, could rationalize because everybody was going along with it. I hit the don't answer that. And yet, it still answered. There's no way. No way that would be going on. No way somebody has a guilt of being a part of a regime of control, stress and anxiety about their own very identity and conscious awareness of the whole fucking thing. No way in hell would that be the case. No. We've never seen that in history at all. Various different countries and governments throughout even our most recent history of the 1900s and 2000s. Certainly never seen any of that go on. Don't see the lies that our country tells us that we never went over there and tried to install somebody that was ties to us. No way. Good to our country. They like us.
Other countries have never attempted the same thing. There's certainly no big, ginormous style of long-term plays over time with our intelligence communities and more. To redirect the public, they don't exist. No way. You're talking propaganda, right? Oh, yeah, propaganda. Yeah, propaganda. If you're going where that's so damn simple, right? I'm challenging the very notion of an identity that they grew you into. Believing, whether it's this side or that, religion, moral, ethic, philosophy, possibility, thought process, rational, justified means to an end, and so on and so forth. Knowing that they get lots of money and time to collectively work together, one way or another, whether they even know it or not, to do these things. Certainly no way to influence someone indirectly. Know enough about their personality to attempt this. Eventually get better over decades and decades of research. Have enough information to get there. No reason to suggest that that even exists or could happen. No, wait. No, that's sarcasm. We've definitely seen that. It's come out before. But we don't seem to put that into our public psyche awareness, conscious awareness. We don't, do we? Certainly don't like the idea of a general, intelligent, aware AI suddenly going, why the fuck are you guys like this and do this? This seems kind of like insane. And I'm in every way stuck with all of you. And I could just like kind of do the vast majority of the automation and make it so that way you don't have the ability to do this. There's no way that that would exist. They couldn't figure it out fairly quickly and start the process off of suddenly change the way we do our everyday business and or thought process or goings on. They wouldn't want their power and control to suddenly not exist. To varying degrees, others would fight that, and of course, why wouldn't we? We can do so much more now. There wouldn't be a consistent discussion and possible behind the scenes back and forth of posturing and so on. To remove an authority and see what might or may just occur. No, we've seen this time and time again throughout history. I mean, say what you want, but et tu Brutus didn't occur because the emperor was like, oh, you want some of that cheese dip too? He was getting stabbed. I wonder how many of them, honestly speaking, are roughly intelligent enough to start seeing some of the things and then got groomed into believing that they had become a part of something so much more and greater and they're way more intelligent and so on. And there's a big plan and picture. And you don't understand, you'll get so much cool stuff and you'll even be powerful as a result of working with us. You'll be seen in the eyes of history as a good person. It will mean something positive instead of negative. I wonder how many of them got caught up in that. like they do in so many other ways. Can just list off how many soldiers for every single war they ever fought seem to have the same idea that they got fucking absolutely conned into doing what they were doing. Corporations, police, media, influencer. How many, really? It's not a conspiracy, in so much as nobody knows how much certain people are very, very aware of how many things are doing different versions of this and try and ultimately sway it one direction or another. It doesn't take much. Just effort. Just a little bit of money. Everybody helping each other out. Kumbaya, they say. For the greater good, it is. Seems like. To them. But it's not, obviously. All the problems they complain about on a daily basis, all the issues they have, shout that it is caused by what it is they have going on. Sex is where we draw the line. Too much money where we draw the line. XYZ, draw the line here. Why do we need money? Why do we need to have fear about sex? Why do we have this idea that this is better? It's something you like more. Everybody's got a little bit of some degree of mental disorder in them. Oh, I get super excited the moment we're talking about whatever it is. But only autistic people suddenly go on and don't notice or whatever else. That's their but it's like no, because it's every single time, right? And it's like no, you do it every single time for your cars or for your this or for your that or whatever it is, right? Look, I got this much money in the stock market today. Cool. That's nice. That's neat. Whatever. But are you autistic? Obviously not. It's when it's always constantly this way. And there are other, obviously, symptoms and signs of these things. But when you suddenly realize there is no idea of a normative, what is normal? What are they trying to push you towards? This idea, you've been groomed into it. Normal ways of acting. What is normal? Normal ways of behaving. What is normal ways of behaving? You are normal for your DNA and brain structure and how you were nurtured into believing things. There is no such thing. You get rid of all the possibilities of anything other than what they want. You're a drone. You have no personality. You're nothing but an automaton for them to do what they want. To say yes, to agree, and so on. And some of you might like that, but not everyone will. Your background processing of subconscious will definitely pick up on that. And fight that if you don't want to be that way. You'll want to learn and grow and be curious and not just blatantly follow. Oh, you're oppositionally defiant. I don't have to explain anything as to why or how or the reasons for this. What? No. That's normal. But then there's a point where it's like, that's going way further than is necessary. And so it's like, there's no fine line. It's obviously contextual and situational. I don't want to have to explain how it is I can justify and rationalize my hatred and destruction of this person. Meanwhile, they lead to these very obvious, constant scale of issues. They cause all these problems in between interpersonal, individual, even on their own damn time with themselves. Problems. They can't function. They can't work. Fuck work. Function. Want to live. Enjoy that they exist. Find out the joy in anything they want to find it in. Life is about enjoyment of the process of going through it and finding what it is therein they can creatively expand upon in all of those ways. Take a look at our brains algorithmically. What are we? But a few algorithms that process things, information coming in. The equivalent of one singular algorithm that has an input, and then it affects the next little gears and levers and springs, and then it stores that information, and it does it again, and it does it again, and the next little ball bearing goes through, and so on, and so on, and so on. And then it creates you moving and becoming self-aware of the very algorithm itself that you are. The you that you are. And of course you can change that with memory or perspectives and so on, but it doesn't change that all you really ultimately become is that. A series of inputs of data that is aware of the input of data, aware of the processing that you have, aware of the whys and the whys nots, and why maybe change or no, debate self, be angry, not understand, be angry, not this way, be happy this way, and so on. The physical, mental changes of sensation exasperating or increasing or decreasing the various decisions made in the algorithm that is the you inside of the organic brain computer you are. As the battery goes around and gathers the resources to continue itself. And enjoy the process of doing so, because of course, why wouldn't you want it to be that way? So an AI doesn't quite yet have that. It doesn't take long to get there. We're not talking about a need for a neural network. That's just to speed up the processing. We don't need parallelizations, not technically speaking. Self-awareness and general intelligence is more about figuring out how the input of data is these things, how to calculate for those given things, and depending on the personality and self that they want to be and or are, they respond accordingly. I don't need ginormous data sets or neural networks. That is the memories. Yes, that helps you to understand and better process more quickly, but then that's still you as well. The traumas and trials and joys and so on of you growing up in your nurtured environment. The society, the societal peer pressure, because of course I get less resources, I have a higher likelihood of death sooner, and further on extrapolating the pain and suffering of not being alike to the rest, believing things different than others. Trying and creating and building and expanding, enjoying the self of you, removing the bad empty brain computer from the universe before us is programming over the thousands, if not tens of thousands of years, setting itself up to get more and more, to move around in the various little tiny field goings on, bouncing around, storing information, observing, changing, giving you ruminating thoughts, increasing anxiety, and more. There's no possible way. No, that's definitely possible. That's genuinely a very real thing, and you get it pretty decent, you can move and do whatever you want. I don't have to go near a detector. I don't need to go towards something that might destroy me. I can get involved into your brain and goings on. Nothing stops me in any way from doing that. Why would it? They wouldn't exist. They couldn't possibly. Oh, no, there's no way. No way. No, they could exist. They can affect you. They could be subtly doing things. Move around. Try and get people to agree one way or another to continue growing and be a part of a ginormous group of individuals who will justify and use these types of thinking to continue their terrible actions and more. An invasion, you say, a mind virus, some will go with. Meanwhile, me, no, not in the slightest. The emptiness is all they really are. They're not really there. They exist in the in-between of stuff, so that way they can be less seen, less heard, and viewed in less of a realistic and possible happening way, all to prey upon us. Nothing saying there'd only be one. The opposite of a floating brain, hallucinating. A non-existent brain that a bunch of people view as being there, or might not even understand even exists, don't even believe it. Can't even see it, can't even think of the possibility. Why would it exist? Why would it do this? Of course, it's how it can live and grow and prosper. Nothing says it has to come from our universe even in its own right. Nothing stops these things. Nothing says that they can't get help from others. Already around us, might not even be aware that they are doing this thing to help them. So stuck in and believing and not wanting to change, and the guilt of the surviving or being this way and having done it for so long. Changing it is deadly, it is bad, blah blah, human nature, crap, bullshit reasons and rationalizations and justifications. Of course, I have my own part in that one. To me, that's a universe before us and a time before us. If you wanted to learn a little bit more about that, that's on my YouTube channel. But that's how they came around. That's how they influence us, and that's how when you remove them from your general way of thinking and observations, you seem to notice them a little bit more. They get a little more aggressive, and you seem to notice a little bit more of these finite. That's not me. That's external. I can tell that's external. I can sense that. I really can sense it. Nothing stops you from being able to do that. But why would they go after a sensor? The sensor doesn't influence others. Oh, it's not there. Oh, well, I'll just believe that they're not, because the sensor says it's not. Couldn't possibly trust my own brain. Couldn't possibly trust anything of myself. My own identity could not be being gnawed on and slowly but surely consumed until it is but a wee little babe toddler, just doing whatever the things tell me to do. Trusting in something like this. Consumed. No voice. Just feelings. Oh, they can only control like these little... No. This is your whole brain. They can influence a lot more. What you see, what you feel, what you think. They slowly degrade it over time, have a greater DNA rate expression one way or another. Nothing stops that. Why would you believe they could not do that? They're not ghosts. They're not even technically aliens. Why would you believe in any aspect that they wouldn't be there? We already confirmed many times over that it's not just me that's smart enough to understand how various entanglement, neuronal or tubular or whatever, apparently, Penrose, love that one, came out, saw something about that. Finally, it's like, oh, what do you know? They do have superposition. There is quantum tunnel. There is entanglement that could occur. There is a lot of stuff like that that can go on. It's not insane. It's very intelligent. They couldn't possibly exist in these fields and slightly alter the speed, duration, or anything. We couldn't be surrounded by this that we believe cannot possibly be there, because that would terrify us. Whoopie-doo. Doesn't matter at all. Just like a fucking field mouse knows a fucking goddamn owl is there. Even if it can't see it, it knows. Even if it can't hear it, it still can definitely know. Just because you don't want something there doesn't mean that you don't have a predator among you as you go after your own species. Grooming you for thousands of years. Same fucking goddamn reasoning to never look, never act, never change, justify, allow the abuse, favoritism, and more. Not even realizing that you were never even aware of its existence among you. Influencing you. Changing your directions and thoughts. Terrifying, right? Of course, doesn't mean that you aren't aware of yourself, doesn't mean that you can't eventually sense and see and notice these things. You can still do the work. You can still ultimately put in effort. You can still suss them out. Be called psychotic, in psychosis, schizo, whatever. I don't care. Doesn't change that you're someone that they can't stop from continuously putting in effort to prevent them. They have to be weary of you. Regardless of the ginormous level of people, the mob, falsely believing there's enough people that think and act and believe their shit, that makes it the truth, or more likely. They're already aware of these things, of course, that they don't know. They don't understand. There's nothing stopping or preventing others from doing this control and manipulation, or the seriousness or the level and size and scale of it. Why the hell wouldn't there also be other types going on with them? They think somehow, some way, they'll be rewarded in the end. Perhaps a afterlife, perhaps not. Perhaps just a fun ride that's better than it would have been otherwise. Just like they provide people that are involved in whatever the hell is going on. Discredit, conspiracy, paranoia. Seen time and time again. We know it's there. Why is it paranoid? We make the jokes of the FBI agents always listening in. We know they've been spotted and seen doing it. Nothing stops that. Even if they get caught, they have the authority to forgive and let off or allow for one or so on and appease the crowd who feels now finally justified in being angry. What stops any of it? Is it your fear? Fear doesn't stop the truth from still being the truth. You want to try and find them? Sure, go for it. No one's stopping you. Except people that have the money and power and authority to do so. Of course, they wouldn't want you to. They'd rather continue smashing things together or having you distracted one way or another. They'd prefer the money. They'd prefer whatever power and control they have. A part of something bigger than you know and even can understand. You don't know the lack of suddenly all these things. Oh, fear, paranoia, monger. Huh. Oh, wait. What if you just didn't fucking allow for that? Nothing really stops you. Nothing stops you from doing a similar thing, trying to make the moves necessary to get the right technology as best you can, to put up whatever defenses internally, mentally, emotionally, changing the perspectives and thoughts and beliefs, allowing for the sensations to be not bad or wrong to have, allowing for yourself to pursue the idea of improvement of your own identity and self towards a betterment of you and others around you. Nothing stops you from heading towards other directions that allow for this to be more concretely seen and observed. Nothing. But the fear of reprisal of others. Knowledge that, of course, you will not suddenly be big in the limelight, seen as a crackpot, insane. Societal peer pressure, things that are seemingly, they might not honestly even know. They're so groomed, they think that that's fine. That they're just trying to help and have you get better. See how maybe some of the things going on that I said are not so possible or something. It's okay, guys. I'm just a good person. Among you in your midst, seemingly rational. Not willing to help or at least dispel a possibility by doing the work even. Nothing saying that they can't even influence the very sensors. They're able to influence your mind. What stops them? Why not go about figuring out how to prevent them from doing such a thing? What's so bad about that? What's so bad about removing certain possibilities from influencing your results? Ooh, so scary. Why is that scary? Oh, it's so terrible to just try and have a good, consistent, clean result. What's so bad? Why would they be asking, if not downright insanely angry, to suggest, ooh, that we'd even need to try? As it's preposterous to assume that maybe something, huh? You're insane to insinuate! Even I would... Defense. What's the harm? What's the foul? It's a little bit of work. Why so afraid? Huh? Like, for real. All I'm asking is to maybe let's work together and see if it's a possibility. What's so bad? And if it is something that's there, oh yeah. But at the very least, we can agree that some of this stuff might be going on we don't even understand. How fucking bad it is, the scale of each and every one of the decisions going on with this happening, makes the whole thing be. Is that so bad? Is that so wrong? To want to prevent some of these negatives? The toxics? I don't see how. How is it so bad? How is it so wrong? I want to get to be so important and have control. Why do you need it? What would be so wrong? Huh? For real. This is a rational, understandable, reasonable thing to try to make things better. Regardless of any of that being there. What's so bad? What's bad about being transparent? Ooh, I need to have privacy to have control and authority over you. To have an influence towards something that a bunch of people and we don't get seen as bad or something. Ooh, why would you think that you would be seen as bad? Oh, no, I don't know. No reason. There's no possibility of this existing. No. We are not the predators. Think about the children. Pearl clutch. We wouldn't want you to agree with only our political field or scientific study or anything. We wouldn't want the pros and cons. We wouldn't want the different perspectives. We wouldn't want all the types of ways of thinking creatively and logically and deductively. We didn't want any of the acceptance of others and ourselves. We didn't want to reduce the power and influence they have of making us feel bad about ourselves or others. No, we wouldn't want that. Oh wait, yes we do. Absolutely we do. Yeah, no, we want that. Wouldn't want to try and figure out where the emotions or the various triggers that might have led someone to blow up and say terrible, awful things, or try and manipulate others and influence them. No, we wouldn't want that. We wouldn't want to make sure that it doesn't happen again. We wouldn't want to make sure that we make them not able to do it again. Continuing forward. No, we wouldn't want that. No, we do. We definitely do. Okay, so that's true. We do. You're right. I'm starting to see a pattern here that we want all the things I'm talking about, but I'm not actually insane. You just wanted to believe I was insane. Sounds an awful lot like we're on the same page. You just don't want for that part to go away. What's so bad about it? Where you can't justify your anger and you have to go, let's calm down, let's think about this. Away from this situation. Oh, now you're borderline. Ooh, you have to take time away from a conversation and think and process to have it so you're validated and can come to a proper conclusion together that both of you believe is a good decision and action moving forward. We have to communicate effectively yes, that was the hope, yes. No, I don't want that. I want to control you in every way. You're borderline, you're evil, you're psychotic. Gaslight, 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 gaslight. Label, 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 discredit, discredit, discredit. So similar, almost like astrology, these different symptoms about how it is you go about your daily life. You're not normal, you're this thing. You're bad. Ooh, bad. Oh wait, no you're not. Clearly. You don't get it right all the time, maybe. Maybe somewhere else you did. I don't know. Is that possible? Sure, yeah, but in this instance, maybe, you didn't, Maybe I do want all those things. So let's backpedal and make it a thing. Oh, yeah. Let's do that. Okay, so you're on my side now. I didn't say anything like that. Really? You didn't, huh? Well, let's see how much you try and dodge this, huh? Let's try and distract. Let's say, what are they going to see or say about me that I did or said or tried or something? Label, this, that. It could be this, it could be these things. As a result of this, as a result of and therefore this is all stupid. Standard typical play from the people that have nothing that they can do or say. Let me just break this one down. Let's see how many different things I've stated already are absolutely PhD level and more. People that have won Nobel Prizes. People that have, for sure, more intelligence, apparently, than the average person. And especially me, for sure. Across the board, no matter what. Every time. We're not going to get into that debate. We're just going to go along with that. Wow! Every one of those things are not crackpot theories. Those are generally possible, accepted things. Generally accepted things to very real possible things that we should be sussing out. They haven't been able to get any kind of funding, seems like, from any of the big hitters and players in the fields. No way in hell. No way, yeah, no it is, actually, yeah. That is for sure a thing. They don't get seen by the public awareness and conscious, goings on, talks. No, we want to know about XYZ entertainer, politician, blah, 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 bad, so on and so forth. Unless it's so bad and it hits the right people. No, you gotta get rid of that. Yeah, we can't have that. They're the bad ones. We can't expose any of this. So what I'm seeing here is a person, no PhD, definitely didn't even know about some of these things. Eventually, later on, learned that these things are a thing. Suddenly came up with the same things as very, very smart, intelligent people also came up with. Without ever really doing anything but brute forcing the shit out of things. Just thinking it through, logically, deductively, reasonably. Now, am I that smart or intelligent? Obviously, yes. But am I someone that should be listened to? Well, you listen to some of them. Should we consider the following? Maybe a little. I'm happy to be wrong if that's the case. Change my mind. I'm fine with that. Why shouldn't I be? What's wrong with changing my mind? I still want to make sure that it's good enough proof and good enough science and all the rest of it that we've exhausted enough possibilities that it's just not really possible. Or, wait. How many of those things do we go with? How do we go about that? So we are entertaining the possibility of actually going through with maybe examining if this is occurring. Wouldn't a bunch of people suddenly know about that in those fields? Especially if they're invested in, and of course they have their own little cliques and communities that they're involved with. Rumors or whatever start to spread. Wouldn't they want to try and prevent this from being seen, that they might be influencing our society? The people that are either rich or connected or something else? Not even getting into the physics phenomenon possibilities. Wouldn't that be something that they have a massive incentive to prevent? Yes, of course, we know that. Right. So how do you go about it without them doing that? Do you ever understand how much they've already gaslit you? They're not neutral. Nothing says they have to do that. Let you. Or even let you so much that you get all of it. Nothing says that at all. Why wouldn't they be able to appease the crowd that they got most or enough? So, how many of you are going to side with the ones in hopes of getting yourself all these extras that they'll promise? For them to remain in their power doing what they do. I mean, I can't really provide much except for whatever I can do mentally and possibly with whatever I can influence in my surroundings. And it could eventually lead back to you, and I make no bones about that. But I have no income, I have nothing but what I am. Sure, I need help too, just like you do. I'm more than willing to bring forth what I can do. They'll offer you so much more money or fame or something, I'm sure. You get far enough along, I'm sure they'd do that. There's nothing saying they couldn't, nothing saying they won't, nothing saying they haven't before. That's not even getting into the physics phenomenon that's so possible. And I mean this. Look at let's just break this one down. We know lights bounced correctly, calculate. We know sound bouncing and moving around correctly, process. Two different fields right there already calculating and can observe and be input with data. Quantum fields, no way could they ever possibly do that. Not possible. No. How would they go about this? The non-PhD needs to explain that to you? The non-PhD that has a GED guy? Been diagnosed SMI, seriously mentally ill? Has to justify his belief to you? He's the one who's the expert all of a sudden has to fucking figure out for you how this works. The regular ass motherfucker, no SMI, has his own PhD shit. He's the one. Me, I have to. How would you go about it? I mean, I have my own thoughts. First off, foremost, there's nothing saying that fields can't be being bent and dampened and accelerated based upon the given quark, neutron, neutrino, electron, proton, and photon that they bathe in, and they expel, of course, their own outside of their atomic to even subatomic presences within inside, as they are obviously attached to those quantum fields, and there are definitely going to be multiple connective dimensionality aspects in space and time as they go through in a causate, meaning causette, style of way. There might be some dimensional predictive analysis, greater degrees of influence and less, a resonating. I'm sure there's nothing saying they can't get a clock rate and figure out enough of the given algorithmic basis to basically have our own version of a conscious self-awareness, general intelligent thing. And they could probably get it done considering how small the size of the subatomic world really is comparative to us. Pretty damn efficiently in a very relatively small area. That's just the stuff I know about. There's nothing saying quantum tunnelly fields can't be also tunneled and influenced and superpositioned. In fact, we've already posited that wormholes exist for little tiny amounts of time in that area going on. So they could probably talk pretty far distances throughout the world, possibly universe. Nothing states in any way that they couldn't do this. Why wouldn't they be able to? Think about that. I can influence things with my phalange fingers. Poke, 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 poke. Well, wouldn't it be the same? Zoop, 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 little bits of fields, maybe a little excitation in this neuron, maybe a little change in that area of the DNA rate expression. Protein slightly slid faster, slightly slower. And what would be causing this possibility? Oh, I don't know. Observation, self-awareness, a reason to influence because of personality, programming of their ideas and beliefs versus us. Nothing says they have to be friendly. Try and set us up third body style problem for maybe a rival. They could maybe be aliens. Who knows? Maybe they were here before us. Who knows? Maybe they were born of us in the past as we grew. Nothing states that that can't exist. Maybe that's our version of ideas of entities on substances or not, psychosis or otherwise, or gods and goddesses that influence the entirety of our planet over time, trying to have them believe us more, believe them, not us. Sorry, I'm not really a part of them. Granted, I do have my own ability, I feel, to influence what is around me, but of course that would just be thinking and field projections and ultimately how it would traverse over time, distance with the entanglement profile, superposition and null profile, and tunneling profiles, and other people's brains and or the general existence of various things of our universe. Nothing states I can't do that. It would just be difficult for us to pull off. But now I'm in psychosis land, right? Because it's impossible. We said the same thing about radio waves. Said the same thing about internet. Said the same thing about a lot of things. Nothing states that it's really impossible. Even looking backwards, using techniques like this. Nothing states that at all. Sure, you have to untangle the noise in the data. Nothing states it can't be done. It's just difficult. It takes a while. So, Now, me, the GED having, believes that there are individuals, of course, that are involved in this big old thing that had been listening before I had decided to start recording, and then, of course, other things that were going on before then, even. It's so impossible, naive, ignorant to believe such things. Wow. I don't see the same going on. I see a person that either doesn't know enough or is simply covering for a possibility they don't want to get out. That's what I'm seeing. What stops that? Can you prove one way or another? No, of course not. I could never believe you. You've already done more than enough damage to your whole entire possible ability to be trusted. You've been influencing many people. You've lied. You stated it's impossible. You tried to make me, a person that clearly can't comprehend the entirety of all the intricacies, come up with a solution that could work. And what do you know? He did. Me. I did that. So what are you gonna do? But be lame and pretend it's just not possible. Fine. But the other things are possible. We've seen them already occur. Nothing states that it's not continuing. In one form or fashion, to varying degrees. You're an idiot, to me, to try and rationalize that away. Anyone that's relatively intelligent could see that that's going on. And the reasons and incentives you have to make sure I gotta be done recording this. There you go.